Here's a new poll. It shows voters have a more favorable view of the economy under Trump than under Biden. 59% say the current economy is bad. 28% said the economy was bad under Trump. Big difference. Monica Crowley is back with us. She's the former Assistant Treasury Secretary and joins me now. Let's turn this around a little. Does Biden get any credit for a low unemployment rate and relatively strong growth, stronger than most other industrial countries? Does he get any credit for that from you?
No, certainly not from me, and certainly not from the American people either, because whatever growth you're seeing, and a lot of these numbers are always revised down, GDP and unemployment numbers, they're revised way after the fact. They want a good headline, and then they're revised downward. And that's because so much money has been pumped into this economy over the last 3 years from the Fed and from Democrat spending, creating this inflationary environment, that whatever growth you are seeing is government spending. It's not an organic private sector kind of growth that we saw under President Trump. And I think most of the American people understand that because, look, they're suffering under this astronomical, very persistent inflation, which is crushing the middle class, the working class, and the poor. They're the ones suffering the most.
Biden blames big corporations and price gouging for this inflation. He's got a strike force to look into it and correct the abuses. Is that what creates inflation?
No, of course, that is a lie. We know what the direct cause of inflation is. Over the last 3 years, since Joe Biden has been president, and certainly when the Democrats controlled Congress, you have had a massive push of spending to the tune of about $8 trillion in terms of fiscal stimulus and monetary stimulus, money printing. That has created this inflationary spiral. We know the lessons of the 1970s and early 80s, which is once inflation gets a solid grip on the economy and becomes deeply entrenched, it is a very painful and difficult process to dislodge. And that's where we are right now. And again, the folks that the Democrats profess to champion the most, middle class, working class, and the poor, they're the ones getting crushed the most by these astronomical prices.
You think that's going to have a big influence on today's elections? I mean, it's Super Tuesday, a big influence, impact from the economy, inflation?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, poll after poll shows that the economy, inflation, and jobs are the #1 or the #2 issue after illegal immigration and the wide open border. People's lived experience is that they cannot even afford to go to the grocery store. I have people calling into my podcast and writing to me saying, hey, man, I go to the grocery store and it's $30 for a dozen eggs. I can't afford to feed my family, so I have to amortize the cost of going out, bringing food home after going out to a restaurant, etc. These are the kinds of difficult choices that the average American has to make. And you know what? Under President Trump, we had a booming economy with robust economic growth. Yes, and we had unemployment at or near historic lows for every demographic group. We had rising wages and little to no inflation. So we really had a Goldilocks economy under Trump, and people have a fresh memory of that, and they want it back.
You know, Biden pre-taped 2 radio interviews. They air today, but he pre-taped them. And we've got this rare print interview that President Biden, in that interview, he went after Donald Trump. He said, quote, losers are never graceful. I just think that he'll do anything to try to win. If and when I win, I think he'll contest it. Wait a second. These were pre-taped interviews and a print interview. This is a Biden basement strategy. Heaven forbid they put him on TV where I can see what he looks like and they can't edit it.
Well, remember the last time he went in front of the cameras, it was that disastrous press conference a couple of weeks ago where he wanted to prove after the special counsel's report that he was not senile. And in the course of that, he mixed up the presidents of Mexico and Egypt. So defeated the purpose. Look, he also did not do the traditional Super Bowl interview as well. He is not capable of carrying himself in a spontaneous live situation like live on camera like this. He cannot do it. So they put him in these controlled environments where the situations can be edited, or it's a print interview where they know they're in a friendly environment and they will edit him to make him sound coherent and lucid. But the American people see him stumbling and bumbling. They can't control everything. Remember in 2020, because of COVID, they could put him in the basement and get away with it. They cannot this time.
Wait till the State of the Union message on Thursday night. Everybody's looking for a gaffe, a slip, a voice that slurs, anything like that. That's what they're looking for, not the policy so
well,
much.
it happens way after his bedtime, Stuart.
Oh, stop.
So
it's actually my bedtime.
We'll see his performance.
Monica Crowley, it's great to have you back. Thank you very much indeed.
Great to be back, guys.
Soon.
Thank you.